What are the rights and responsibilities of the people then? Jesus once told a parable about a master that owned the field and he left it to a group of men to attend to. These men, they received the first inheritance, and they were trusted with cultivating and harvesting the crops for when they were ripe to be returned to the master. Those men were given the garden, benefited from it, and yet their lust and greed for more overcame them. When it was time for the harvests, the master would send a servant for collection. These men, because of their arrogance, each time would beat, stone, or kill them, keeping the harvest for themselves. See, they developed this idea that if they don't see the master, there is no master. If there was no master, that must make them the master. They became accountable to no one but themselves. So finally, he decides to send his son. Surely, they'll respect my son, he naively thought. Because when they saw the son coming, their hatred intensified. Because they were reminded that they, in fact, were not the true owners and merely tended it. So they planned to kill the son in order to secure what they believed to be their rightful inheritance. They did do the work after all. They toiled in the heat, they cultivated the crops, but they forgot who made it possible for them to do it to begin with. Without the master's field, his equipment and seeds, and the decision to hire them, they would have had nothing except what they alone could have produced. Up to this point, the master had been gracious towards them. He offered no retaliation for beating his servants, no repercussions for abusing his resources, no sanctions for breaking his trust. But his son, that was the last straw. They lost the fear of the master, and so the master decided to remind them of his strength. You see, while they were stealing and scheming, he was preparing a new garden, one that they would not be welcomed in or allowed near. The master, then riding with his servants, rode down to the vineyard, laid siege to everything in sight, and put the fear of God back in them.